Hi peeps, welcome back. Welcome to the Quarantine Diaries again. So today I think I'm going to talk a little bit about my books, and I'm going to talk about calming ourselves during this current crisis, and a little bit about crystals and which ones I use and why. And then I think, I don't know, we'll see where it goes. So, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. And please hit the ringer bell below so you get notified when I have a new video out. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the algorithms. So have a seat, get ready, make yourself comfortable, and we'll get started here in a minute. Kaylee was here just a few minutes ago. She might come up and visit us if she so decides to. We'll see. It's week 3, I think, of the stay-at-home order, and here we are definitely under all non-essential businesses are closed, and basically it's stay-at-home. I don't think they've got fines out if they catch you out, but they'll chew you out if they do. Yeah, so this is really, it's getting real, folks. They're setting up field hospitals here in Washington State to take care of the people who need regular hospitalization, so they can use the existing hospitals for corona patients. I think we've had over 4,000 confirmed cases and over 200 deaths, I believe, at this point, or close to that. There is some indication the University of Washington models show that our social isolating and stay at home may be helping some, and I hope so. I hope it may be helping flatten the curve already. The important thing is to remember that it will take some time. So if you don't see immediate results, if the numbers continue to go up for a while, it doesn't mean it's not working. It just means it's going to take a little time. If you hear my texting go off, I've got an Instacart order in, and I have to keep checking to see because sometimes, I mean, the shoppers are great, and right now they're run ragged, but sometimes if they try to substitute something that I can't have in the house, I have to tell them, no, I asked for a refund, please don't substitute anything for that. So I'm stopping to take a look every now and then. As I said, they're making field hospitals here and calling in army doctors and soldiers to help man them. It's that bad. And it's probably just going to get worse for a while. Hopefully the curve will start to flatten out. But we are expected in Washington, they say by July, we may be reaching 1,400 deaths. And that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people to lose. Stay at home. Don't go out and socialize. This is not the flu. This is not just another cold. It's killing people, and it's killing people of all ages. Your age will not protect you. And even if you get it and have a mild case, which most people do, the fact is that you can infect others whose immune systems are compromised. So please stay at home. Don't go out in groups. Don't go socialize. Don't hang out in bars. Right now we need everybody on board if we can get this under control, because it's a worldwide pandemic. So there's my 2 cents on that. Actually, I think it's a buck's worth. Golden device. Anyway, so on to other things, perhaps a little more cheerful. So those of us who work with magic, as a general rule, not always, but as a general rule, believe that there is energy in everything around us, in us, and all people, all creatures, all things. I'm what's known as an animist. I believe that every single thing on this planet that is what we call solid has some sort of energy or sometimes a sentience, sometimes just an energy. In other words, it's alive on an energetic level, even if it doesn't think or doesn't have a consciousness like we do. And crystals are no exception. Crystals, it's well known in scientific circles that crystals give off certain types of energy. And as witches and magicians and just in general as people, we can utilize that energy too. The key is to learn to tap into it, to learn to recognize it, and to learn how to direct it. So before you can tap into energy, you have to learn to recognize the feel of it. There is an exercise that I taught people in my book, Embracing the Moon, and I used to teach to my magical students when I taught magic. It's a kinesthetic exercise to learn the feel of energy. And the easiest way to do that is through using your hands. And the way I teach people, I'm going to show you this exercise here so you can practice a little on your own. It won't hurt you. It won't draw anything in. It will just make you a little more aware of your own energy field and of the energy of things around you. So, to start with, okay, remove your rings. And if you wear a watch, please remove that. I can't wear a watch because my body chemistry stops them. I stopped wearing a watch when I killed 3 watches within 2 months. They were all brand new. And they just died. You know, it's like they did not like being on me. There are some older electronics, and I don't know how this worked, but I could walk up and put my hand near like a stereo, and the volume would go up and down as I'd move my hand back and forth. My energy field just kind of connected with it, and it altered it. So once you've got your rings off, I want you to sit here, and I want you to first lightly rub your hands together, and then just like shake the energy off. Take a deep breath. Take 3 deep breaths with me. And feel yourself settle. Feel yourself ease down, and sort of everything kind of moves away. Put your hands together like this. And I want you to feel the sensation of your skin on skin. Feel, are your hands soft? Are they rough? What do the nails feel like? Run your hands over one another, just getting a feel for it. Take another deep breath and let it out. Now I want you to place your hands like this, and don't press hard. Have them just lightly touching. Then I want you to start just slowly pulling them apart just a little bit. Hold them there, and then press them together slowly. And again, don't press hard. And I want you to do this a few times and focus on what you're feeling. See if you can feel a tingle between your fingers once they're apart. It takes a little time. Sometimes it takes more than one practice session to start feeling that, but slowly pull them apart and then press them together. Like right now, I can feel the energy between my hands right there. And as I press it in, it feels like I'm pressing almost an invisible little pillow or invisible, like an air bubble in. Now pull them apart again and press them in. When you start feeling the energy, then I want you to start inching them apart a little bit further. Hold, feel the energy pull between your hands. It's like I can feel the wavering between my hands. And then press them in slowly. And pull. Eventually, as you practice, the majority of you, now some people this doesn't work for because they work with energy in other ways, but the majority of you will feel a flux between your hands. And I want you to start shaping that energy, shape it into a ball. And it's like you're holding a ball. And you can feel the energy work between your hands. Now, when you raise energy, you definitely need to have a focal point for it. So for today, if you've raised energy between your hands, I want you to focus on the word peace, or the word calm, the word secure. And I want you to focus that word into the center of that energy between your hands. And feel that word, that sensation, that concept strengthen as it draws the energy into itself. And then I want you to take your hands and turn them towards yourself slowly. And bring that energy into yourself. Then dust your hands together and give yourself a moment to ground and wake up. This is not exactly self-hypnosis, but it is an exercise that can leave you in an altered state of mind. So always make sure you're clear-headed and shake everything out. Just shake everything out before you do anything like driving or working with any sort of machinery. So once you know how to do that, and go ahead and practice that. It's like if you enjoyed doing that, practice it on a daily basis, several times a day. You'll find it gets stronger, and some days you'll find it's weak, and that's usually when you're tired or when you're really stressed. But it's a good way to calm your energy, and it's like the first step that I teach people in learning to focus on how to feel the energy in items or in woods or in plants or in crystals. So today we're going to talk about 5 different crystals. And I'm going to start with those because I think they're some of the most useful in the situation going on today. A caveat before we begin. What a crystal does for me, it may not do for someone else. Generally, what I'm going to be teaching you are well-established, accepted metaphysical properties for crystals in general. People have found them worldwide to work for these issues. But that's not to say that it's across the board. There are some crystals that do things for me that they don't do for other people, and vice versa. But I'm going to show you ones that have very common meanings across the world today with very common properties. And I find that these hold true, although I may use them for other things too. The base level meaning still holds true in my experience. And I say that because everything is experiential, everything is subjective. What works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for me. It doesn't mean necessarily anybody's wrong. It simply means that everybody has a different chemical makeup, everybody has a different energetic makeup, and every human is different. And we react to things differently, just like, my allergies to some things other people can eat without any problem. Other people have allergies to some of the things that don't bother me. Every single person is unique, and that's important to remember. There is no one size fits all in this world, whether it's a dress, or whether it's a makeup, or whether it's a crystal, or whether it's a belief. As I said, I'm going to be talking about amethyst, celestite, Herkimer diamonds, smoky quartz, and garnet today. And there's a reason I'm talking about those. We'll go into other crystals in later videos. Amethyst, this is a sphere. Now you don't need to buy a sphere or a giant piece of amethyst or a huge geode. You can, of course, if you can afford it, but a small little hand stone, a worry stone, that will do the trick too. But yeah, you don't need a huge, huge, massive stone. I collect a lot of crystals and a lot of big ones. I try to make sure that they were ethically mined. I can feel when crystals were not. I've got a friend who can too. And I always run a crystal by her a lot of times. And she, sure enough, she can tell whether it was strip mined or not. Luckily, I seem to have not picked up those. I'm just not cold toward them. It's like I can feel the damage done. And it's not to the crystal, it's to the land around it. But amethyst. Amethyst is for calming. It's for physical and emotional healing. And I'm going to give you a caveat. I'm not giving you a prescription. I'm not saying don't go to your doctor if something's wrong. I'm not saying don't go to a therapist if something is wrong. What I'm saying is these are really good backup methods, or when you just need a little break or something. But definitely if something is seriously wrong, go see your healthcare provider or your therapist. Don't rely on folk medicine to start if it's severe, especially if it's severe. Magic is an enhancement. It's not the only option. Amethyst, I like petting this. I know it sounds odd, but some crystals just make you want to pet them. It's like I like the energy, and that's what I'm feeling is the energy as I run my hand over it. I'm feeling the spirit of the crystal. Like I said, I'm an animist. Everything has a spirit, everything, even if it's not consciousness like human consciousness, it's a being in itself. It's an entity in itself. And this amethyst, it helps calm, it helps smooth out the bumps. In old times, amethyst was used for drunkenness, interestingly enough. I don't have that problem, but when you need something to calm you down, when you meditate, sit with an amethyst, breathe in. Amethyst also clears energy. It'll help clear your energy. And if you do get a larger piece, like I've got a couple big geode pieces, it will clear the energy of other stones. Every time I buy a new stone, if it feels the least bit muddy energy, I'll pop it in my big amethyst and leave it for a few days. And when I take it out, it's just cleared. It's like this natural dishwasher for stones. I use amethyst when I'm feeling jarred and when I'm feeling nervous and rattled. So it's really good for times like those. And it's supposed to help promote healing on many levels. So if you are, say you have a regular cold And you know you don't need to go to the doctor, or you've been to the doctor and they say go home and just rest. Amethyst may help speed up your recovery, but it can also help calm your body down so that it can recover easier. Now, another crystal that I want to talk about today is celestite. Now, this crystal is extremely soft. I've never really found jewelry made out of it, and I think it's because it is so breakable. It's got a very low hardness factor, where quartz is extremely hard. Like, I think it's an 8. This is like a 2 or 3, I believe. But celestite I find very helpful when I'm trying to attune with energy like starlight, or when I'm trying to do a little astral traveling, when I want to protect myself against lower vibrational creatures, and there are those around. Especially if I'm going to do work out on what I call the web, and I'm not talking the internet here. As I said, I believe that everything is connected. Everything in this universe is connected. And I see it like this giant web that stretches throughout the entire universe. And everyone has their own web that connects to other webs, that connect to other webs. Everything is interconnected. And I will do meditations where I go out on my web, what I call going out on the web. And that's my own personal energy web. And I will see myself standing at the center. And usually at the center of my web, there's this beautiful island with trees, like huge forests, and, the animals that I work with, and just dark fairy energy and stuff. And it's at the center of my web. And I'll stand there and I'll look around, and I can see the threads running off my web, just like a spider web. And if some are dark, that usually means I haven't been working in that area for a while, or I've been lax on shoring up that part of my life. Or it'll be like a failed connection to another person, like where we dropped out of touch or something like that. So if I see a dark thread on the web, I will go out on that. I will see myself walking out on this thread of a spider web, this spoke, so to speak, and I will examine whether it can be repaired, whether I can grab hold of it and put energy into it so I revive it, or whether it needs to be cut away, because sometimes you need to cut away threads from your life. And if it needs to be cut away, I'll come back to the center, and I will envision myself reaching down and breaking that thread off and letting it go, letting it clear through. Go back to the energy pool, basically. Celestite helps me get to that place. Celestite helps me get out there to where I am working on the web, and it's very good for astral travel and sort of higher vibrational travel, for working on less of the physical realm and more of the supernatural realm, so to speak, supernature, the energetic realm. I love celestite. I kind of want to have this wound into something so I can wear it, except that I am afraid it would break. And I've got a few big pieces of celestite. They are just lovely. It's hard to see on this monitor, but it's like this pale blue, like ice. And it's little crystals inside. And yeah, I love celestite. It always makes me feel less angry and less annoyed and less irritated. Now, a third crystal that we're going to talk about is smoky quartz. Now, smoky quartz is a great boundary crystal. It's good for protection. It's good for a number of things, but I use it a lot for protection, and I use it for setting boundaries, and I use it to ward off creatures I don't want in my space, or people I don't want in my space. Smoky quartz is, again, like, this is a pretty large piece. It's a member of the quartz family, like amethyst. It's just heated to a different level again. And there are different sort of minerals in each one, I believe. They're the same parent, creates them both. They were both quartz to begin with, I believe. And then time goes on, as they're forming, they take on the different colors. Smoky looks almost like obsidian, except it is a lot clearer and you can see through it in several places. And you'll see there are prisms and rainbows and fractures inside this too. I've got an incredible smoky quartz sphere I love working with. I keep a lot of smoky around because I like keeping strong boundaries up. I used to joke, about it, saying like, because of my energy, I'm kind of like a blue light special for astral creatures, or for people who glom onto me, or want to glom onto me. This helps prevent that. I could also knock somebody over the head with it pretty good if I needed to. But, smoky quartz, it's a way of saying, back. Stay your distance. It also helps me ground in center, and it helps me feel. I use it, I meditate on it, or with it rather, when I need to strengthen my feeling of surety in the world, and security, and strength. It's a stone of strength. So, and as I said, I wear the little smoky constantly. I wear that a lot because it's a really good boundary ring, and it helps me carry that energy with it. You can link energy too from one crystal to another. A lot of times I will take several crystals and I will do a ritual to link their energy together so that, say, the ring that I'm wearing can pull on the energy of a bigger crystal, no matter whether I'm out of the house or not. So smoky quartz, really good for boundaries. Fourth stone I'm going to talk about is garnet. I love garnet. It's my birthstone. This is a little garnet sphere. Garnet is surprisingly inexpensive. It's a semi-precious gemstone. I have rings. I have garnet rings. But I wanted a stone I could just play with like that. Garnet for me is strength. It's sexuality. It's surety in myself. It's self-confidence. And it's also backbone. It helps you like straighten up and go, okay, here's what I will accept in my life. Here's what I won't. So garnet is really good when you are trying to decide what you want to accept in your life and what you don't want. And it's good for use when you need to shore up before you go into an important meeting or before you go into, say, a job interview. It helps boost your self-confidence. It helps boost your self-esteem. It helps you feel strong from the inside out. So, garnet. And I think now especially, it's important for all of these qualities to be in our lives because so many things are uncertain. So many people are afraid for their jobs, and rightfully so. And so many people feel like their boundaries are being encroached on, and they're, shaken up, and they're not sure what they want in their lives and what they don't. So I think it's important to make our vision boards at this time and to sort of regroup and reconnect with ourselves and figure out where we're going. We're entering a new normal. things will never go back to the way they were. They can't. You cannot have this huge of a situation. You cannot have a worldwide pandemic and have things just go back to the way they were. There will always be changes. People will always be changed. By the end of this, we'll probably all know someone who has died from this, or have a friend who has lost someone. Right now, I have one friend who is in the hospital with this, and I have another friend who she lost her best friend to the virus, and it's just going to get worse before it gets better. So there's no going back. There's no regaining where we were. We have to go on from here and create a new normal for ourselves. And that's a difficult thing for a lot of people. And meditation and finding your center and really asking yourself, what's important to me now? What do I need to focus on? What matters now that didn't matter before? Or what doesn't matter now that did matter before? That's all vital for us to look at. So this last crystal I'm going to talk about today is a Herkimer diamond. No, it's not a diamond. It's a form of quartz. It's double terminated, and it's supposed to be one of the most powerful forms of quartz there is. It's also one of the more expensive. So tiny little Herkimers, the size of my little fingernail, can run, $5 or more. I love Herkimer diamonds. I've got a passion for them. I don't have too many because they are very expensive for the size, but they are very powerful, and they are like the warehouse of strength for quartz. Quartz is an amplifier. Quartz strengthens whatever you are feeling or doing. So it's important, if you are feeling shaky, don't grab just crystal, plain clear quartz as your main stone at that moment. Take amethyst or smoky quartz or something, because clear quartz can amplify those feelings of insecurity. Herkimer diamonds are like jacking up. It's going from dial up to a T1 line or something. They're very, very powerful, and I use them in connection usually with another stone when I'm doing rituals or when I'm meditating. I'll hold, for instance, a lot of times I'll hold the Herkimer diamond in one hand and the celestite in the other, and I will use those two together. And there's another stone I use with these two. It's called Rainbow Moonstone, and it's got black tourmaline in it. And the three of those seem to like each other a lot. Maybe I'll talk about that another time. But a Herkimer diamond is like a powerhouse gem, and when you are working on your self-esteem, it's really good to amplify those feelings that you're starting to feel about, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can make this, I can get that job, I can do this video, I can write this book, I can paint that painting. A Herkimer diamond, once you have gotten those first feelings of, I can do this, I can do this, it can amp those up. So, yeah, Herkimer diamond. And as I said, it's a double terminated quartz. And I love the quartz that has a lot of rainbows and fractures in it. I find those pieces to be more powerful in general. So those are the 5 crystals that I recommend working with, and you can get small pieces of each. There are a lot of metaphysical stores online who are probably hurting right now that you can buy them from, or you can go to eBay, or I'm honestly not encouraging people to go out to their local stores right now because it's a dangerous thing. But once the orders are lifted, carefully, go to your local crystal shop if you have one. And there's another place that people don't think about. If you don't have a metaphysical crystal shop, okay, do you have a rock and mineral shop around? There is a shop down in Kent, which is 20 miles away, not that far, maybe 10 miles away from my city. And it's a rock and gem shop, and they have a lot of rock. They have some carved crystals and spheres and stuff. They have a lot of raw crystal. They're not necessarily like a metaphysical shop, but it doesn't matter. A raw piece of crystal will work just as well as a polished piece. It's like, it doesn't have to be a polished sphere. It can be, a rock. This was pried off of a geode, most likely. So, those are 5 crystals: amethyst, celestite, Herkimer diamond, garnet, and smoky quartz that I recommend working with right now for peace of mind, for general health, for inner strength, for self-confidence, and for setting boundaries. Okay, last bit today, a little bit about my books. I am getting Sunbroken off to my editor. As I said before, it's going to be about 2 weeks late, but I'm getting that off to my editor this week. I am done with it and ready to send it to her. And then I will start Witching Moon. I am so excited because, as I mentioned in one of the last videos, I have 3 series that I really want to write. Found the covers for one of them. I'm not going to tell you what the name of the series is or what it's about yet, except that it is cross between an urban fantasy, paranormal kind of romance, but not quite like what I've been writing. It's a little more indigo courtish, and so I'm looking forward to that. And I am going to be working on getting the rest of my rights back from Otherworld. That's going to take some time. So if you notice some are not available on Kindle, that's why, because I'm not putting them up until I get all the books back. I wish you good writing. I wish you a good week. I wish you safe stay at home and quarantine. So until later, people. My March Madness is still going on. My March Madness sale is still going on. I'll put a link below. Silver Stack is for free right now. Oak and Thorns and Iron Bones and Bewitching Bedlam are 99 cents each. And the first Indigo Court bundle is only $1.99 right now. So you can get your reading fix at a lower cost if things are tight for now. I wish you the best, and I will see you next week. And I probably am not going to do a Top Chef recap. I had planned on it, but this whole coronavirus thing has changed everything. And right now I'm feeling that that's not something that people would be that interested in. If I'm wrong, feel free to let me know in the comments. Also tell me what your experiences with crystals are in the comments, and whether the energy exercise worked for you. Give it a few tries, and let me know if it worked for you or not. And I will talk to you later. Take care, and much love and bright blessings.